What's going on, guys? This marks the start of a video series discussing what to look for in an effective training program. I did write a lengthy blog post on this, but I'm going to sum up a lot of the stuff I've written because you're more likely to watch the video. So I decided to do this because there's huge growing popularity in Instagram, especially, where people will just sell you a program. There's a lot of acute exercise variables that need to be manipulated in order to facilitate specific outcomes. So these programs are just at-cost programs. When you pay peanuts, you essentially will get peanuts. You will literally get just exercises slapped on a piece of paper. That's your program. That is not program design. That is a devalue to the industry as a whole. And when I say industry, I mean personal training and strength and conditioning. So what this video is going to do, and what this video series is going to do as a whole, is outline what you need to look for in an effective training program. Starting with part one, today we're going to talk about periodization. You need to look for evidence of a plan, and I'm not talking about like just the piece of paper you get with the exercises listed on it. What am I doing next block? What am I doing in the next month? What am I going to be doing for the whole year? And not like this has to be presented to you, but there needs to be a general idea of where all these things are headed. Let's say you're someone who's looking to improve your physique, or how long are we going to spend working on these fundamental components of physique improvement? You might spend a month or two working on hypertrophy, 1 month on strength, and then going back to hypertrophy. Periodization has become a bit of a buzzword these days. Just understand that periodization simply refers to a manipulation in acute exercise variables in order to facilitate a specific outcome. So it's not some magical freaking program. But nevertheless, this is an important exercise prescription component. So we can break our training up into macrocycles, which is the whole year, or it could be 6 months, and mesocycles, which are usually a month, and then your microcycles, which is usually your 7-day period of training. If you do not have a plan, you plan to fail. So I don't know if that's exactly how it goes, but you get the idea. Just take me for an example. I spent a good chunk of 2015 just program hopping and not really having that plan. And now I've got that plan, and I'm making better progress than I would, as opposed to myself just walking in the gym and going, well, it's been a month. What am I gonna do now? I could just do the same program, but obviously there is a law of diminishing returns. Periodization of training stress is important for the management of overtraining syndrome. You've got functional overreaching, which is an important part of periodized programs. Non-functional overreaching. Then we have overtraining syndrome, and there are other little sub ones in there, but these are the big three. And overtraining syndrome really is just that I am stuffed feeling, and it could take months and months to come back. So there need to be times within the year where you need to have physiological and psychological replenishment at the forefront of program design. Deloads come into play, which is just a reduction in total volume for that phase of training, usually a week. So there is a lot of different ways you can incorporate periodization into your program. Now, I'm not going to touch on all these different types of periodization because any manipulation in an acute exercise variable is periodization, and we have programmed for a specific outcome. Now, but the most fundamental thing about all these different models of periodization is that they need to be relevant and specific and meaningful to your outcome. So if you're primarily physique-oriented athlete, but you're training for power, dynamic effort training, there isn't a meaningful reason for you to do that. What they will do is outline some sort of progression scheme. It's probably not worth worrying about like a really specific progression scheme, especially if you're more in that beginner, even intermediate stage. This series is in no particular order of like priority or any sort of hierarchy. The most fundamental thing about programs is that you stick to them long term and you see them in their entirety to get the full effect. Alright guys, that's it for part one. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy this series. And if you want to get a heads up on the whole thing, I'll link my blog in the description section below. Thank you very much, and happy viewing. That's my outro. Holy crap.